What's going on, everybody? Terminus here with another episode of Girls' Last Tour. Episode 4. At this point in time, I think all 3 episodes that I recorded previously are on Patreon, but unfortunately not on YouTube. It's not alcohol, but sometimes I feel like I would like to be honest. Well, it's gonna be on YouTube one of these days. So welcome all of YouTube to Girls' Last Tour. I hope you are enjoying yourself, and I hope you are realizing any kind of editing I have to do on this series is only because YouTube doesn't like it. And because it takes forever to actually get it through unedited, so I kind of resignated to at least doing a little bit something. I hope it's enough. I hope it works out. If you want the full experience, you know where to find it. Patreon. Go there, support me if you want to. If you can. If not, there's the experience. It should be fine mostly. But yeah, we are going to look into AniList actually, because I do want to look up Girls' Last Tour's staff. I know it's White Fox, so there's that. Girls' Last Tour, released in fall 2017. That's not that old. I thought it was older than that. Holy shit. Yeah, I thought it was older than 2017. But okay, cool. It released in fall 2017 with 12 episodes and an average score of 81% by Studio White Fox and Sentai Filmworks. It is based on a manga, I knew that. Written by Tsukumitsu. That is, I mean, apparently his or her? Looks like her. Either her name or her pen name. Was directed by Takaharu Ozaki. Proficient in animation and computer graphics, did various things. Let me see what he did. He did Cowboy Bebop. Wow. Okay. Maybe I need to watch Cowboy Bebop after all one of these days. I've watched, I think, the first 3 episodes, but never gotten past that. It's the good old problem that I always had before I started reactions, where I started all kinds of cool and interesting shows and never really pulled through because other stuff got in the way. But yeah. Also did Technolize, which is super interesting. But he was like, okay, wait, he did Cowboy Bebop, but not as a director. He did Cowboy Bebop as a digital coloring staff, and only for episode 23. Interesting. But he did do Technolize as a director of photography. Okay, cool, interesting. So not like the main director, right? The main director is listed as, yeah, Hiroshi Hamasaki. I think I know him. But yeah, he did Girls' Last Tour. He did Technolize as director of photography. He did Sora no Voto, which looks like it's also kind of like a related to military or some sort of thing, right? We do have he does director of photography for a lot of these. Interesting. Iron Man, okay, cool. Hunter x Hunter, The Last Mission. One Punch Man, a couple of key animations and mechanical designs. Steins Gate, Missing Link. Oh yeah, the alternate 23rd episode, right? Okay, visual effects for those. We do have a thing that looks a lot like the old like Fire Emblem or other games that are kind of in the vein of that, right? Like Japanese JRPG kind of game thing. We have Persona 5 the animation, okay, director of the Daybreakers. Cool, interesting. Yeah, storyboard for episode 12 of Persona 5 the animation. We do have some Steins Gate Zero episodes on photography and episode directing. Goblin Slayer, Carol and Tuesday, which I haven't watched, but I know of it. It's like the music kind of anime. Persona 5 the animation again. Goblin Slayer again. Goblin's Crown, whatever that is. Probably an OVA or some like movie or whatever. Never like watched too much Goblin Slayer. Season 2 as well. So not that much, but a couple of things that are kind of known, right? Nothing major project like Girls Last Tour. Very interesting. He has all of these things here. Storyboard for most episodes, key animation, episode director, CG layout. I do wonder why he never, or why he didn't do that much otherwise. Why he like, aside from Goblin Slayer, I think Goblin Slayer is mostly chief director, yeah. So, interesting. We do have Chito Inori Minase. I know her from a couple of roles, but oftentimes I can't say that from the top of my head. But yeah, okay, we have like Bunny Girl Senpai here, I think, right? Yeah. We do have, wait, she's Rem? Okay, she's Rem, potentially? She should be. Just in the break times? No. She's in all of them, right? Like, yeah, 2024 was the break times. Alright, exactly. Okay, cool. So she is voicing Rem, she's voicing Choco, she's voicing Hestia from like I don't know what it's called, but yeah. Prushka in Made in Abyss also. Shout out Made in Abyss. I do have a reaction on YouTube for that. Go check it out if you're interested. Yeah, a couple of interesting and cool roles overall. I wish you could see like most prominent roles, because oftentimes there's a lot of like repeat roles that are on that. But either way, there's a decent amount of interesting characters that she has voiced before. Okay, cool. We do have Yuri by Yurika Kubo. Interesting that we do have that name overlap here. Who voiced the sister in Bunny Girl, voices Takane in this new seasonal anime, right? Takamine-san thingy that a lot of like reactors are apparently reacting to. Finding a lot that I am familiar with in terms of series. Sometimes it's very interesting when I go through these, you can kind of maybe spot what series you would like me to see that I haven't seen yet, because I don't recognize the characters. Because like, I do recognize characters. If I have seen a series, most of the time I recognize the characters just based on their looks. I mean, most of them are designed in a way, right? I don't know that character, so I'm gonna ignore it for now, right? Like, until we are further into the series. We know Kanazawa, so I can open up Akira Ishida. That sounds very familiar, Ishida. I've heard that before. Hyoga and Dr. Stone, I haven't seen it, but I've seen some of it. Regulus in ReZero, okay, fair enough. Now I can, yeah, that fits, right? That, okay, yeah. Because I have that in my ear, basically, that voice. I have listened to it a couple of weeks ago when I watched ReZero. Some Conan characters would have been way too long. Because I've watched that as a kid and not after that. Like Demon Slayer stuff, which I haven't seen. I've read Demon Slayer, but I've not seen the later seasons of the anime. Some Danganronpa characters, which I have kind of tangentially gotten to know. Shout out Flaming Shark. Wait, we have like, oh, in the movie he plays like the Persona 3 protagonist, which is interesting. Okay, cool. So we have a couple of people who actually done Persona projects before. Yeah. Neat, I guess. Like I'm not seeing a lot more character. I know this character is like from Gintama, but I've not seen Gintama. It's a long series, so I'm not sure when I will ever be able to see it, but it's definitely something that has been recommended to me a couple of times, so I got it in the back of my head. Maybe I'll watch it on my own at some point in time or react to it. We'll see. Gintama is just... that would be a series that I feel might be better to just watch it and then... oh, he was Judo in the like 1998 Berserk. Really cool. To watch it on my own and then do a review of that or something and just talk about what I liked about the series in general. But yeah, cool. Interesting stuff in general. We can look at animators at some point, but like, I don't know, like the art is the most important stuff about Girls' Last Tour, I feel like, right? The discussions and the art. So there's definitely shout out to all of these people here. There's definitely more focus on the art and less about like how we exactly animate that, right? But yeah, shout out Studio White Fox in general. I do love their project, Steins Gate and ReZero and other stuff. Sorry, it's a little bit late already. But we are going to watch this episode. I am excited, and at least for the next 20 minutes, still attentive enough to probably process everything that's going on within the episode. Girls' Last Tour, where are you? Here you are. Girls' Last Tour, episode 4 starts in. No, I don't want to make it louder. Starts in. A 3, a 2, a 1, a bam. No? Okay. A 3, a 2, a 1. Alright. Back with the bike, or like the, yeah, whatever. What the fuck are you?
Here we go. 3.
No, wait. I do not want English, hello? Okay, essentially subtitles. 3, 2, 1. Nihongo, please. Nihongo kudasai. And once again, what are you? Ikuyo. She didn't say cheese. Disappointed. You are grinning from ear to ear most of the time, and this is the one photo where you're not grinning. What's happening? Do. I love that when it's like it leaves a lot of space and then it comes with the beat again. Oh, they don't even know what it means. It's cheese. Because yeah. Photographs. Ooh. Oh, this is cool. The music in this is so insane. Like it's so beautiful. Like, it's awe-inspiring. It evokes this feeling of, I don't know, ancient civilization and wonders that you're about to see on your travels. He's gonna take a shot. Ooh, this is really cool. Like in terms of a case that's like protected and it opens up. Mm-hmm. Ooh, she knows. Yeah, focus in. Oh, holy shit, she learns about how photography works. How the lenses work. Yeah, you just have to learn about shutter speed and ISO and... But isn't half of the fun figuring it out? Hmm. They sure were something. Yeah, I was about to say, like, it's the same thing. You'll get the hang of it. Oh, no, 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 no. Ooh, that is heavy stone. Are you alright? Also, who puts like a statue like that in the middle of the fucking road? Hello? Oh, you're gonna get smacked. I knew it. Nah, you gotta bump into it. Ooh, it almost seems like it's some kind of weird satellite or something. I think it's really cute how they squabble. Also, it's really creepy. It almost seems like the eyes are following them.
取ったな。バカみたいに。まだ怒ってる？
バカみたいに。
ほら、これ輪っか。
A halo.
こっちはなんか生えてるぞ。
A plant.
ユウは変な石像取りすぎ。いいじゃん、減るもんでもないし。いや、減るだろ。
I mean, it's digital, so...
あとどれくらい取れるんだろう。多分ここの数字かな。数字？これが
Ooh, that's a lot, though.
さっきから少し減ってる。4じゃなくて。
Oh, you mean like the... Oh, okay.
52万。
Oh, okay. I was right.
僕多いよね。多いよ。じいちゃん
That's a
の声よ
lot.
り多いよね。多いよ。どうやってその中に入れとくんだろう。そういうのじゃないんだよ。多分。じゃあどういう。
多分。
わかんないけど。
Oh, just technology.
食料ってあと何日分くらいあるっけ？
You need a battery, though, right? Or something along those lines. Or is it like solar?
30日分ぐらい？写真の数が先に尽きることはないな。なんなら私一人で7日で食べきることもできるか。
Shut the fuck.
ふざけんな。
Jeez.
じいちゃん、今日のそれチーズ味だってよ。チーズね。なんなんだチーズ。
Wonder what cheese is. It's always so weird.
食べ物は食べたら減るのに、取ったらずっと残ってるって。
Ooh, interesting.
いつか街が崩れて、あの石像もみんな壊れても写真に残るっていいかも。あ、いえ。何すんの？
Preserving our image. Ooh, the timer, right? We're gonna take a picture together.
動くなよ。
Right, what's gonna happen last second? Alright. Not the point of cheese, but it's fine. It's fine. She makes an expression. Ooh, I love the wires. Like how it's all interconnected. Stop looking at me. Stop looking at me. You creepy statues. Golden hour?
あの一番明るかった建物が多分ここだね。
It looks like it. A central structure that emits light for some reason.
見た時は明るかったけど、中は暗いね。
So what is the bright part? Or is it gonna turn on only at night? Or is somebody turning it on? Hmm.
広いな。何の施設だろう。でかい石像
広いね。
がたくさんあるね。あの石像だな。なんだろうね、ここ。さあ。もしかすると、ここって寺院なんじゃないかな。
I'm not sure, but maybe. I don't know. A temple, a place of worship.
神様がいるところ。この石像も神様みたいなものかもね。
Maybe. Some idol.
神って何？神ってのはさ、なんだろう。
Okay.
食べられる？
I was wondering what kind of answer she would have. Very interesting how these concepts lose meaning over time, right? Like lose meaning if you don't know how to attribute that. Even if you say like a place where gods are, you're like, okay, what are gods even?
なんて書いてあるの？今からおよそ400年前に立つ3人の神を祀る。ほう。やっぱりここは寺院みたいだ。極楽浄土。極楽とは死後の世界。この寺院はあの世を再現し作られたらしい。
A reproduction of after.
全然違うね。同じ極楽でも温泉の方がいいな。
I like the hot springs better. Yes.
書いてある。死後の世界を明るく照らす。
Beings that illuminate the afterlife. Right?
なんだかはっきりしないな。
I agree.
あれ。
Oops. What do we do now? Interesting. I wonder if we are playing with the idea of darkness and illumination. Gonna wait till your eyes adjust to it, right? Holding your hand in front of the eyes. Total darkness.
真っ暗だ。おーい。
Why is she not answering? The angle. Unsettling.
あの世ってのはこんな感じなのかな。全然暖かくなくて真っ暗で何も見えなくて。
So many people imagine it. But I guess nothing is very hard to imagine. Ooh, these are interesting questions. Why didn't you answer, Chi? What do you mean? Wait, is it somebody else? No. Okay. Holy shit. Blinding lights. And lots of wind chimes, apparently. Good thing they didn't fall into the water.
で光ってるみたい。反射してるんだ。
Ooh, okay. It's not water. It's just reflective floor.
これは植物の模造品かな。金属製か。ちーちゃん、見て見て。何？魚。
A model.
これも模造品か。もしかして食べられないの？
You can't.
見てわかれよ。ガラスの中に閉じ込めてるんだ。まるで水面みたいに。がっかりだよ。神様にはがっかりだよ。あんなのただの石像じゃん。あんまり適当言ってると罰が当たるぞ。でもここに来るとき石像倒してきたよ。ただの石像だよ。やっぱりただの石像じゃん。
It's big. Impressive. I think about humans built that at some point, right?
うまい。でもわからないな。立派な神様も結局偽物なんでしょ。こんな大掛かりなものをわざわざ作る意味って何なんだろう。死後の世界なんて誰もわからないのに。
People still like to imagine, I guess.
さっきの暗闇の中でユウが言ったよね。あの世もこんな真っ暗な世界なのかなって。
Yeah, you want a vision of an afterlife that isn't.
そういう風に思いたくないから石像を作って光を灯したりするのかもしれない。安心したくてさ。安心か。むしろ私はちーちゃんを見つけた時の方が安心したけどね。暗闇の中で。あ、もしかして。ちーちゃんが神様なのでは？知ってるか？神には食べ物を貢がなきゃいけないんだぞ。
Might as well profit.
くれよ。
Let's go.
違う気がしてきた。くれよ。やだ。
Kureo.
あ、むしろ私が神なのでは？ない。私は神である。
Calm down, girl. Calm down.
私にくれよ。
Oh gosh. I can't. Literally nothing happens in this anime and still amazing. Oh, and there they are, the statues. Oh, I hope the camera doesn't break at some point. Holy shit. That would be unfortunate. Wouldn't have like a... I mean, they would still have their journal, but you know. Alright, let's turn it back. Alright. I mean... Jesus. What's cheese? Cheese, right? Because you smile if you say cheese. At least you, for the most part of it, you smile. But for Chito later, it was like cheese, and then she was like, she made the last pog face of of society. Statue looking like it doesn't even want to be in the picture. SMH. The cinematography is just insane. The way they like shots of the feet while they're looking at it, right? Like them both leaning over the camera, right? Like faces squishing into one another. It's and this one, right? There's like just rotation shot around it like that. It's you don't expect that. Such a such an unused angle. But yeah. And once again, right, like as we journey through these landscapes, these almost otherworldly seeming landscapes, these wondrous places, we are playing this music that invokes reverence. Reverence as to the sheer scale of what we are observing, right? And also the sheer age of what we are observing. I mean, if you believe that temple, 400 years or more. 400 years the temple was built, but before that there was other stuff, right? Probably. Wild how the structures just interconnect and merge. We have a little like 50mm lens, 1 to 1.8. That is not bad. I think like this is like D, right? But it should be the f-stop, right? If I don't. I see F over there, but there's no number behind it, so I'm not sure what the f-stop is gonna be. Well, it looks like 1 to 1.8. 3270 or not, that's a serial number, right? 1.14 could be the f-stop too. I don't know. We'll see. What is a common f-stop? I think it's like 3.5, and then we have 1.4 something. Maybe 114. I don't know. Possible. I'm not that good at cameras, but this is really cool how it opens up and then it like closes down again to protect the camera shell, or to protect the lens itself. How you manually zoom in and out. I don't have to do that because I got a Sony. I got a Sony smart lens, which is cool. Interesting, like the f-stop actually on mine. Okay, interesting. Yeah, FT, that's the one on the... It's not the f-stop though. Interesting. Always very interesting to see like some of the stuff. Anyway. Really cool how we also have the effects on that to just like show or represent various parts that you would be seeing in a normal camera. 1 to 40,000, whatever that means. Because like the only thing I know is like 1 to 50, for example. If you're shooting at 25 frames per second, that's the shutter speed. But it can't be 1 to 40,000 as shutter speed. That's crazy. Is it? I don't know. Maybe it isn't. There's gotta be a battery, right? I don't know. I spend too much time with this. But yeah, we're shooting photos and trying to figure this stuff out. And also shooting pictures of one another. You're like, oh, the statues, they look kind of like you, and she's like, no, they don't. Shut up. No, they don't. She's looking away from the road, and we crash. And then she's like, don't look away from the road. You told her to. Bad. But we're okay. She's a little bit mad. So she's like, nah. I think I figured it out. Show me. No. You're mean. You're a meanie. Maybe I want to be. Yeah. Okay, we got the lights, we're scouting out, and then we're starting the convo as we are most of the days. We just talk about stuff. We just talk about stuff. 520,000 pictures. That is a lot of pictures, my friends. How do do all the pictures fit inside? This is not how it works. How does it then? Not sure. Not sure, right? Because we don't have a concept of that. We have a little bit of an inkling of how it might work. Wonder if they're gonna run out of battery at some point in time, or if that has some other kind of mechanism that the pictures are based on. We're going through it. Cheese. I wonder what cheese is. That thing I found earlier, and she figured out like the timer mechanism. It's so cute how she's like looking at it, and she's like looking at her, and she's like putting parts, like, right, swiping parts of her hair away a little bit, and she's like, for herself, she's like propping herself up a bit, and she's observing, right? She's like, oh, giving a wry smile, and she's saying cheese. And so they have a photo of the two of them together. I love that focus, right? All of these telephone lines and like power lines and whatnot. So much interconnection between all of that, and we're just looking into the sky as we drive past all of that. So many interesting angles. And we're like at the angle, I just like driving a little bit away from it, and as we drive away from it, it looks like it's observing us. And the city is clad in the golden lights of the sun. But everything inside here is pretty dark. It almost looks a lot more dystopian and like wastelandish than it did before all of this. You just have a dark hallway with a lot of pillars. And everything's just very... a huge bunch of statues, a lot of stairs. Maybe this is what they call the temple. Is it like a place where there are gods? Maybe those are what these statues are supposed to be. Gods, huh? What are gods? Gods are well. I'm not sure. Again, she doesn't completely not know at all, right? She elaborates later on, but she's like, I can't really tell you what gods are supposed to be. Like, I just have somewhat of a vague understanding of it. Built around 400 years ago. 3 gods are enshrined here, right? We have Shintoism and like Japanese culture. Paradise, the world after death. A reproduction of the afterlife as like a vision, right? May you be released from your sufferings and worries, finding peace. He's like, I'd rather have a hot spring. Totally different from a hot spring, huh? Even though they're both paradise. Because they said that earlier. It's very interesting. What do we define as perfect, right? What do we define as beautiful or paradise in this, right? The promised land. The land of milk and honey. I think everybody, right, milk and honey helps because it's a strong association, right? Sweet and like it has a certain substance to it, a certain joy and pleasure. But it's very hard to define concepts. of paradise, concepts of beauty, right? Because a lot of it is subjective and based on our own personal experience and our preferences and all of that. And so is oftentimes the things we believe in as well. Some stuff about the gods too, beings that illuminate the afterlife, and this is where we get at. She's like, that's pretty vague, but with that experience in the darkness, we actually realize, hey, maybe this is why they created this temple for the gods and created this vision for an afterlife, because we don't know what happens after, and if all we can envision is nothing, and the thing that we associate nothing with the most is being alone in the dark, then that is a very scary and lonely and sad thought. And by illuminating everything, we are basically laying everything bare, right? We are able to see everything, right? It's the opposite of uncertainty. And uncertainty is always a fear of human beings, because human beings, for a large, like most human beings, I don't want to say in general, but most human beings do like to know, do like to have an idea of what happens next. They do like to have their environment categorized, right? They do like to know what to expect, because then they can plan ahead and adapt to it quicker, respond to it better, right? Survive. And this is an instinct in us, right? Because it is about survival. It doesn't matter if it's about like that job interview in 5 weeks, right? Or if it's about the traffic, or if it's about potential wars happening, or if it's about the economy. People do like to have a basic structure in their day-to-day life, because otherwise it feels like in our world, especially our today's complex world, but even back then the world was complex enough, with all of these factors, all of these different human beings meeting each other, with animals and nature and technology and everything, right, that exists out there, or even before like modern technology. There's so many variables that you cannot know what exactly happens. So this is where heuristics come in for human beings, right? Heuristics are so very, very important to be able to take a bunch of information, very incomplete information, and be able to make decisions, the best possible decisions, based on those limited this limited information in a short amount of time. And to be able to do that, you need to be able to work with a limited amount of information and make educated guesses. And for that, you need to be able to have pattern recognition. You need to be able to understand certain patterns of things happening. And to understand, understanding certain things of patterns happening means you are you got an idea of what's supposed to happen. You have an expectation out of your past experience, and this is what informs you to react to things, at least with a higher probability, appropriately. Which is why humans do have the general feeling that they do like order, that they do like structure, that they do like categorization, because that makes it easier for us to put things into patterns, right? Put things into likely things that could happen to me or around me, which makes it easier to survive, which makes it easier to thrive and develop, all of these things. And everything that is vague, that is insecure, that is dark, that we can't see, that we can't control, that we can't perceive. Ghosts, supernatural things, right? Like, no matter if they exist or not, we can't perceive them, and that is what unsettles us about that is what unsettles us about them. Yeah. But it's fascinating, right? how much we worry about these things and how much we build our dream our castles, our dream castles, just so we can have that feeling that somewhat we do have things under control and that things are going the way we want them to go, or things are going in a way that is okay for us, right? That is somewhat predictable, that is something that is comforting to us. And I guess it is also, if we talk about the afterlife in a way, it is a motivator to think that whatever awaits us afterwards is something that is better than the life we have here. So if we have a good life, it's even better, right? Because it's perfect. If we have a bad life, it's all been worth it. All of our toil, all of our suffering, because we will arrive at some point at a place where we are at total peace. And I do think that for many people, the definition of happiness is really to be at peace. And it doesn't have to mean that nothing happens. It just has to mean that nothing harmful happens, right? And maybe a lot of interesting and exciting things happen, but none of them really pose any threat to you, right? That is peace. Peace for you to develop as a human being. And maybe the knowledge that after you are gone, after your body has wilted away, that some trace of your existence, right, that is what makes you you, what makes you a human consciousness, like that phenomenon, that abnormality of human consciousness, that side product of our brains, basically. Well, I don't know if it is. Nobody knows if it is, but like it might as well be, right? That this can transcend our mortal bodies and go beyond, right? That all of what we experienced within our lives is not lost for good. There's so much in this, but also personal stakes, right? Not warm at all, so dark you can't see, with nobody around. That's also an important aspect, right? Companionship. If I lost Chi-chan, what would I do? The first time she really asked herself the question, what would I do without my friend, partner, whatever, right? What would I do without that other person that exists within my life that is so important, right? That I maybe sometimes take for whose company I sometimes maybe take for granted. And she was kind of enjoying that she was stumbling around in the dark. But hey, with the amount of trolling that Yu does, it is understandable that she sometimes wants to get back at her. We have this temple with all of these wind chimes, and we're looking at a tranquil scene, right? And that is what it's supposed to express. Something frozen in time that isn't gonna go away. A vision of what it could be like to be at peace. Keep saying stuff like that and you'll be struck by lightning. So she has an inkling of what a god is. It's like, well, didn't we destroy one of the statues? And then she's like, Dee? It's like, oh, you know what? It's just a statue, all right? Like, that is the perfect example of just tailoring things to what best serves you, right? I don't want to think about the possibility that this could be a real all-powerful being. Let me just stay in my old reality of it's just a statue, and then nothing will happen. Everything is daijoubu. It's not like anyone knows, right? It's like, remember what you said back in the dark? Maybe they built all these statues and lit everything up like this to avoid thinking of it like that. Because that's often the case, right? We see something repeatedly, we think it is like that. That's how information works a lot of times too, right? We see something in the news a lot, right? Very frequently, more frequently than it is actually than it is actually present relative to other things, right? Other events, other occurrences. When you see, for example, in our modern globalized world, you see crime being reported on a daily basis, right? So you do perceive it as way more prevalent than it might be percentage-wise. So in a sense, what we see is oftentimes what we associate and what we visualize, especially as human beings that are inherently very visual creatures. To feel more at ease. It's very interesting what she's saying here, and it's a really cool angle because she's looking down at her lap almost like she doesn't want to look into Chi's eyes, right? She's like almost hanging her head to not like be too embarrassed in saying it, right? Because there's like a feeling of inherent embarrassment about staring at your feet or at your lap while you're sitting. I felt way more at ease when I finally found you though. That little shift and gaze over. And yeah, she's happy about that, of course. What if you're gone? And then we banter again. But yeah, there's this little acknowledgement of, hey, there's this person who's very important to me and is part of my daily life, and I really like her, so. But in a way, I was very much at ease when I was back together with you, even when we were in the dark, right? Because then we have each other to play off of each other, to help each other, to be there for each other, right? There's trust here, there's a bond, right? And companionship. I really like that, right? That it existed before, but this is like the reconfirmation of that. And sometimes it is these moments that we do need. Oh, I didn't even see that scene. Didn't know that we had that. He's like, Kami this. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, that was Girls Last Tour episode. Okay, cool. I do wonder why that happens. I think I've probably set it to some kind of setting. Okay, sorry, that was Girls Last Tour episode 4, apparently with worse audio. I will probably have to edit that a lot because you hear the birds in the background and all of that. I don't know how much of it was actually muted, but I accidentally muted parts of it because my OBS was bugging out. Doesn't matter, you'll still have the audio of my camera. I do hope it's good enough for one episode at least. You'll hear my thoughts. I hopefully can edit the audio a little bit and then it's gonna be fine. It's not gonna be terrible. I can guarantee that. Yeah, like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. We'll be back with more Girls Last Tour very, very soon.